I'm gonna try and kick his head off. I'm gonna try and I don't like his face. I don't like that his face is attached to his body, and I would love to separate the two. I don't like the bloke.
Did something happen that we don't know between you and Dan Hooker?
No, we're just talking. Because
seem
I
very
know
calm.
when we're gonna be in one room, he's gonna shut up and just listen me. Because I know like these people, they just can talk on the internet, but when they one-on-one, they scared. I'm going there to play. Just easy money.
After a long wait, Dana White officially announced an Arman Tsarukyan fight. Dana revealed that the UFC will debut in Qatar on November 22nd in Doha. The historic event will be headlined by Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker with Belal Muhammad versus Ian Gary, set as the co-main event. White emphasized the importance of the promotion's first ever trip to Qatar and confirmed he will be present for the occasion.
For the first time, we are headed to Doha, Qatar, November 22nd at the ABHA Arena. And the main event will be the number 2 ranked lightweight contender, Arman Tsarukyan, taking on number 6 ranked Dan Hooker. Co-main event is going to be former champ and number 1 ranked contender, Belal Muhammad, taking on the number 6 ranked Ian Gary. So there you have it. November 22nd at the ABHA Arena in Doha, Qatar. Our first time ever there. I'll be there. I'll see you there. All right?
After the fight announcement, Dan Hooker fired shots at Arman Tsarukyan and promised an intense showdown. He made it clear he has no fondness for Tsarukyan and plans to come at him aggressively, even joking about trying to kick his head off. Hooker noted that while Tsarukyan isn't likely to get under his skin with words, the tension and animosity between them will add to the excitement of both the fight and the press events.
I could not like him. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try and kick his head off. I'm gonna try and it makes no difference to me. It's more exciting for the fans, obviously, with the build-up and the tension and stuff like that. He's a bit of a donkey with his words. He's not going to say anything really interesting, or to say anything to try to piss me off would be very difficult. But yeah, it'll be exciting for the fans, for the press conference and getting in each other's faces and that. Because yeah, I think there's a lot of animosity there. I don't like the way...
Dan Hooker makes it clear he has a deep dislike for Arman Tsarukyan after their fight is confirmed. He shows no respect for him and says he is eager to land an elbow in the matchup, highlighting how motivated he is for the clash.
I don't like his face. I don't like that his face is attached to his body, and I would love to separate the two. I don't like the bloke. I don't know anything about him, but I hate everything he stands for. Can't wait to elbow him in the nose.
Dan Hooker warned that if Arman Tsarukyan gets close enough, he will throw a strike, which could put the fight at risk. He explains that the animosity runs high on both sides, making it the UFC's responsibility to keep them separated so the matchup can move forward.
I could not like him. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try and kick his head off. I'm gonna try and it makes no difference to me. It's more exciting for the fans, obviously, with the build-up and the tension and stuff like that. He's a bit of a donkey with his words. He's not going to say anything really interesting, or to say anything to try to piss me off would be very difficult. But yeah, it'll be exciting for the fans, for the press conference and getting in each other's faces and that. Because yeah, I think there's a lot of animosity there. I don't like the way... I don't like his face. I don't like that his face is attached to his body, and I would love to separate the two. I don't like the bloke. I don't know anything about him, but I hate everything he stands for.
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan was confident that he would return in October or November and had already spoken with Dana White about potential opponents. He explained that the UFC was considering Abu Dhabi or Qatar for the matchup, with names like Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, and Paddy Pimblett in the mix. Out of those options, Tsarukyan made it clear that Paddy was the fight he wanted most.
Of course you want to fight Ilya. There's a lot of momentum building towards that. You're doing your part, calling for it. But if you don't get Ilya, who do you think is the perfect opponent for you for a non-title fight?
It's the other contenders is Gagey, who wants to fight for the title, because if I beat him, he's not gonna say anything about title, or Paddy, those two names. But Hooker, he's not on the title contender, but still, if they give me those three names, I'll fight. But they gotta tell me, if you beat this guy, you're gonna fight for the title, and they're not gonna like make fight Paddy versus Ilya and me versus someone, because I wanna fight as soon as possible and then go to the title fight in the end of this year, because I'm ready right now. If they tell me September, I'm ready to go. September any day, and I'm in shape. I train twice a day, like I said, and I'm just ready.
Arman Tsarukyan wanted a title shot, but admitted he would accept another top contender if Ilia Topuria wasn't available, as long as it came with a guaranteed title opportunity afterward. He named Justin Gaethje as his ideal opponent, saying a win there would remove any doubts about who deserved the belt. While he also mentioned Dan Hooker as a possibility, Tsarukyan emphasized that the UFC shouldn't overlook him in favor of a Paddy Pimblett versus Topuria matchup. And
for a non-title fight,
it's the other contenders is Gagey, who wants to fight for the title, because if I beat him, he's not gonna say anything about title, or Paddy, those two names. But Hooker, he's not on the title contender, but still, if they give me those three names, I'll fight. But they gotta tell me, if you beat this guy, you're gonna fight for the title, and they're not gonna like make fight Paddy versus Ilya and me versus someone, because I want to fight as soon as possible and then go.
Tsarukyan emphasized that the UFC shouldn't overlook him in favor of a Paddy Pimblett versus Topuria matchup. And on the other hand, fans and pros wanted to see Arman as the next title contender for Ilia Topuria. Charles Oliveira even stated that Arman Tsarukyan should be the next contender to fight Ilia Topuria for the title. He pointed out that Tsarukyan was ranked #1 and had earned the opportunity. Oliveira also recalled that Tsarukyan was previously scheduled for a title fight, but had to withdraw due to injury, which in his view made him the rightful choice for the next shot.
Tentando esse espaço para disputar o cinturão, quem que você imaginaria que seria uma luta interessante e que causaria talvez uma dificuldade pro Topuria?
Cara, não vou te falar nem de dificuldade, nem interessante. Eu acho que o cara que merece isso é o Arman, o número 1 do ranking, então o Arman merece essa luta. Sabe, tá esperando ali, ele luta pelo título, tive até...
Khamzat Chimaev also shared his view on a potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan, saying it was the type of matchup that needed to happen within the year. He called it a perfect clash, with Tsarukyan's wrestling and Topuria's striking providing a real test to determine who was the best. Though close to both fighters, Chimaev admitted he would be eager to watch them compete inside the cage.
We know you're kind of friends with Ilia too, and you know you're friends with Arman. Do you see them fighting this year?
I hope so. It's a good fight for the both guys. So fighting is, you need to know who is the best fighter in the world. So the both guys is best fighters. So I will be happy to watch that fight. Yeah, it's okay. The fight. Arman is good move. He has a good piece, good wrestling, and the other guy has a good jiu-jitsu, a good puncher. So it will be cool.
However, Ilia Topuria dismissed the idea of fighting Arman Tsarukyan, saying he didn't consider him a worthy challenger. He questioned Tsarukyan's ability to consistently show up on fight night and made it clear he had no interest in the matchup, even claiming he would rather vacate the belt than defend it against him.
Listen, when you put so much effort in the game and you have a guy in front who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight, that's not something good for us. It's not on my back, bro. I don't care. You're gonna give him a fight before the title shot, because there is no way. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria said he would love to face Islam Makhachev at the White House, calling it a special stage to showcase a fight for the American audience. He made it clear he was ready if the opportunity came, but doubted Islam would return to lightweight, noting that once fighters move up in weight, they rarely choose to cut back down.
You versus Islam on the White House card would be insane. Would you want to fight at the White House, or?
Why not? I would love to fight in front of the United States of America.
Yeah.
I would love it.
We'll see what's
But it's
gonna
a year
happen.
away, right?
It's a year away.
That could be perfect timing for you in Islam, though. What weight would that go down at now, though?
Like, what do you mean? When it
Like
could
what
happen?
weight? What weight class? Yeah.
I don't care with him.
He
I
couldn't
don't
come
really
back
care.
down to 155.
Once you try to go up, you never want to come back.
Yeah.
It's like
It's hell, right?
it's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell. I had to go through hell when I was cutting the weight in 145, and now that I decide to stay in 155, it's like two different worlds. I have been able to enjoy the whole process. I've been more happier.
However, Ilia Topuria's wish to fight at the White House seems to be fading as Conor McGregor confirms his fight for America's 251st celebration. McGregor announces that the bout is officially finalized, saying the deal is signed and delivered. He reveals it will take place as part of the historic birthday event and highlights his close communication with Dana White, praising their strong working relationship.
Is this a done deal? You're in? You
Done
made a
deal,
deal?
signed, delivered. It ain't a negotiation.
Wow.
It's a done deal, signed, delivered. McGregor will compete in the White House for UFC's 200 for the America's 250th
Did you talk
birthday.
to Dana about it? Dana's got to sign off, I would imagine, no?
Me and Dana are in constant communications. We've done incredible business together. I'm the highest generating fighter of all time in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. They've just signed a breathtaking deal with Paramount where we go to cable TV. $7.7 billion that deal was approved for, and ready to rock, baby. Bring in the big dog, the Mac.
Conor McGregor reveals that he is planning 6 months of isolation to prepare for his UFC White House bout next year. He explains that his phone will be switched off to remove all distractions, allowing him to dedicate himself fully to training and executing his plan.
Oh, I have 8 months and change out to the White House event. It's a 6-month operation. You know, I consider it a 6-month operation to get ready for this bout. Period of isolation for sure, where the phone will not be answered. All my people involved with me understand that it is coming. And as I said, it's a 6-month operation. I'm under no illusion of what lies ahead of me in my preparation efforts. The phone will be switched off and the work will be executed. That's my focus right now. I'm just eager to climb the steps into being ready for my return. There's a lot at stake, and I'm very excited at the opportunity. I was right there with my last one. I was in incredible condition. Just a slight lapse in concentration led to an injury. I wish to correct that and show what I'm about.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria's second wish to face Islam Makhachev also doesn't seem likely to happen anytime soon. Dustin Poirier believes Makhachev may be done at 155 after bulking up for welterweight. He explains that since Makhachev already struggles with the lightweight cut, adding more muscle makes dropping back down even harder. Poirier suggests this could signal the end of Makhachev's run at lightweight.
Yeah, it's going to depend whether he wins or loses, but also, man, it's not easy to put on the weight. He's already a very solid lightweight fighter. To have the freedom to bulk up and put on more muscle and fill out your frame the way your body wants to be, to go back down to 55, it's going to take some time, I think, to really be at a calorie deficiency and lose some of the muscle he's putting on. Because like I said, I know for a fact he doesn't make 155 easy. So now it's going to be even tougher. He could do it, but it's going to... Yeah, he could be completely done at lightweight. It might be too hard for his body to get back down and compete at that level because he's not a small guy at all. I think when we see him in there across from another welterweight, he's going to fill the part. He's going to look like a welterweight fighter. He's a big guy, you know. And I'm excited about that fight. You know, if JDM's takedown defense holds up and he makes Islam have to be in front of him, you know, it could be a long night. But that's so much easier said than done, man, when these guys are on your body and on your legs, and it's so much easier said than done.
Moreover, Arman Tsarukyan insists that Ilia Topuria must face him before being compared to Islam Makhachev. He argues that Topuria's rise has been less demanding, with most of his notable wins coming against opponents past their prime. Tsarukyan also claims that if Topuria had met Alexander Volkanovski years earlier, the fight would have played out differently, with Volkanovski dominating.
If he beat me, he's gonna be on the same level as Islam. He gotta beat like someone like me, you know, who can wrestle. Yeah. He just had easy fights on his career, you know. He beat legit fighters, but not on their prime. If he met Volkanovski 4 years ago, Volkanovski just eat him.
However, Arman Tsarukyan also believes Ilia Topuria is more likely to face Paddy Pimblett than Justin Gaethje. He argues that Gaethje would not accept the fight, while Topuria has greater incentives in other directions. Tsarukyan explains that if Islam Makhachev captures the welterweight title, Topuria would rather pursue a historic third belt and the financial rewards tied to it than risk a fight against him.
Каким ты видишь путь Топури в дальнейший? То есть вот сейчас Гейджи, возможно, ему дадут под конец года.
Нет, Гейджи не будет драться с Топури.
Это инсайт или это просто...
Нет, это мое мнение. Мое мнение. А UFC может делать все, что хочет. UFC может поставить даже с дебютантом Топури. Но я думаю, что, скорее всего, это будет больше Пимля даже, чем Гейдж. Вот. Я думаю, он защитит титул. Если Ислам выиграет титул, он перейдет на 7-7 и захочет стать тройным чемпионом.
С тобой боя...
Не, со мной боя он не захочет, так как с Исламом он больше может заработать, и риск, что он станет тройным чемпионом первый раз в истории и заработает большие деньги. И если даже он проиграет Исламу, ну типа поднялся в 7-7, сейчас обратно спускает свой вес. У него есть отговорка, если он проиграет. Он поднялся на 2 весовые категории выше.
Paddy Pimblett is also ready for the matchup and expresses confidence in his progress, emphasizing that he is sharpening his striking with Ilia Topuria as the target. He highlights timing on the feet as a key focus, but maintains that his grappling remains his greatest strength, even comparing his ground control to how Khamzat Chimaev dominated Dricus du Plessis.
5 rounds in the bag there. I mean, striking time doesn't feel there at the minute, to be honest. Last week, my striking time felt good, and I've done 5 rounds with Luke, so it's just probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Obviously, I've got to get that striking time better if I'm fighting El Chirito. That's a lot what I'm going to work on, but my grappling always feels phenomenal. As you see in them rounds, lad, when I get people on the floor, they don't get up, lad. They smother people. Like Khamzat against DDP the weekend, once I get you down and I'm on top of you and I'm smothering them, you're not getting up, lad. I'm controlling you. I'm making you feel my weight and making you feel some shots at the same time. That's the thing, lad, when I get on top of someone, you're not getting up.
However, Dustin Poirier believes Paddy Pimblett's win over Michael Chandler is not enough to warrant a title shot. He argues that Pimblett should first face another top 5 opponent to prove himself before being considered for a championship, calling a direct title opportunity premature.
Respect to Paddy and everything he's done. I don't think a win over Michael Chandler, you know, on the streak that Chandler's on, the way his fights have been going, deserves a title shot right away. I know he's exciting and people are talking about him, but I would like to see him fight one more top 5 guy, one more tough test, and then we could talk about title fights for him. I think it's a little bit rushed for Paddy, if we're talking about him and Ilia.
Kamaru Usman also dismisses the idea of Paddy Pimblett jumping straight into a title shot, calling it unfair to fighters who have already earned their place. He highlights contenders like Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot, and Beneil Dariush as far more deserving based on their records and level of opposition. While acknowledging Pimblett's growing popularity, Usman stresses that title shots should be awarded on merit rather than hype.
It's not Paddy's fault. Paddy has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Paddy's done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got Ilia Topuria, and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense. If you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, I don't know why Islam is still there, but if you're not going to do a Arman Tsarukyan, or you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, then, you know, like, yes, you've got Dan Hooker there. You've got Mateusz Gamrot. You've got all these Beneil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblett. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot, that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best guy. So
on the other hand, the fans are excited for Islam versus JDM fight at UFC 322 as Jack Della Maddalena warns to knock out Islam Makhachev on November 15th. He predicts Makhachev will lean heavily on his wrestling, expecting the opening round to be filled with tough grappling exchanges, while pointing out Bilal Muhammad's mistake of waiting too long to shoot for takedowns.
Do you expect Islam to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan will try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything, you know. I definitely feel like he would test the feet, you know. I think it's going to start on the feet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Bilal fight, he probably sees that Bilal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll get into some at least some grappling exchanges, you know.
He's going to come up in weight. It's your weight class. Do you feel like that's going to slow him down a little bit?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes the weight cut will slow you down. So I expect the best Islam. I expect more filled out, stronger. I feel like he's going to be the best Islam Makhachev has been. So, yeah, I think the weight would probably be better for him, you know.
Another pay-per-view here next year. You win this, good chance you headline that. Does that help as well with the motivation stakes?
Honestly, not really. I'm motivated, you know. It's a big fight, it's a big challenge.
Jack Della Maddalena warns he will go all out against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322, aiming to secure a finish at Madison Square Garden. He says beating the former pound-for-pound number one will send a clear message and shake up the lightweight division.
Finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it, you know. I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening, you know. I can see it blowing the roof off MSG, taking out pound for pound number one with no doubts, you know. Finish would be the dream.
However, Merab Dvalishvili believes Islam Makhachev will capture a second title against Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledges JDM as a dangerous striker, but sees Islam as tricky and adaptable. Merab expects Makhachev to take lessons from the Belal Muhammad fight and make the right adjustments. While he admits the matchup will be difficult, he remains confident Islam can walk away with another belt.
You mentioned Islam. He's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling, and he's southpaw. He don't get hits, but he takes people down and he mauls people down. So, and also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and maybe Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible. It's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
Dan Hooker also shared his thoughts on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, saying he believed the UFC booked the fight for stylistic reasons. He suggested Makhachev's team must have spotted something in Jack, but admitted it was still a major step up for Della Maddalena. Hooker pointed to Jack's size and strength, and while he gave Islam a chance, he felt the matchup leaned slightly in Jack's favor.
Pretty confident stylistically with that Jack Della fight to they kind of gone out of their way to chase that fight down. So they obviously see something. I feel like it'll be close, but yeah, that's a big step up. Jack Della's a pretty big boy.
Do you think Islam can get past him?
He's obviously got like I feel like he's got a chance, but I feel like that fight leans towards Jack Della.
That wraps up everything from today's video. Let us know your thoughts on this matchup in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates on the upcoming UFC showdowns.